we have to run so we can know what it is to stop. Otherwise, you don't know what it is to stop. Right? So that's, I've spoken about that already in this class, and it's so important for us to embrace the difficult parts of ourselves too, and to acknowledge those, because they belong to the good parts, right? Otherwise, you can't have yin without yang. You need both, but we separate them, but actually they belong to the same thing. So we need to embrace the part that's difficult for us, or the negative part, whatever, however you want to express that, the polarity, the opposite polarity. We need to express both polarities. Both polarities are equal. And when we separate them, that's what happens. They become separated. They cannot reunite. So it's important to acknowledge it, both. Yeah, and so they can come back together again. Yeah, and then there is no any more separation. It just becomes one thing. Yeah, so that's very important. And the only way to do that, which is, again, I can relate it to the form, because the form is for me such a good model of that, is to understand what is full and what is empty. You can't understand what is full and what is empty if you do it automatically. That you go from full to empty automatically, you will never understand it. So that's why I say go slow, and then you become full on one side and you become empty on the other side, and you just stay there, just understand this is full, this is empty, and then consciously move on to the empty side. Yeah, and then fill it up so it becomes full. And then as you're becoming full, if you're aware, then you'll understand how this is emptying and how this thing pulsates, okay. Which is actually, I am embracing the full side of me as much as I am embracing the empty side of me, so they can unite and become whole again. This is exactly the same as with our thoughts and our emotions. When we don't recognize the negative emotions or the sad emotions, and we only try to hang on to the positive ones, we don't understand how this polarity is working inside of us. We separate ourselves again. They become separate entities, and they're not. They come from the same entity. Yeah, so that's really important to, and that's why I'm doing this now, in hopes that people will start to express both sides of them, all parts of them, so they can become whole again. This is part of the exercise of this, why I'm doing this. And I know people are uncomfortable with it, or they think that what they have to say is not important, or whatever, or they're scared, or they're shameful, or whatever. But if you never expose those things to the light, they'll always be separated from you. So it's very important. Yes, that's right. And there's no judgment without a mind. Yeah, judgment and opinion only appear because of the mind. Yeah, when you speak from the heart, there's no judgment there, because there's no separation in your heart. There's always separation in your mind.